Relationship breakdown is never easy. It gets further complicated when children are involved. The child support system aims to provide financial assistance to single parents who are the primary caregivers of their children. A parliamentary inquiry is examining the effectiveness of this system and what can be done to deliver better outcomes for those who pay and receive child support.
Look, there's been a range of issues that have been raised with the child support inquiry so far. I suppose from the point of view of many of the groups representing women and custodial parents and payees of child support, there have been issues raised regarding how the child support enforces collection of child support payments, and also issues regarding whether or not child support staff or staff engaged in the child support program are adequately dealing with domestic violence and relationships where there's been domestic violence that's taken place. On the other side of the coin, from the men's organisations, and certainly we've heard a lot from men and also non-custodial parents or paying parents that have appeared before the committee, that to them, there seems to be an inherent bias within the child support system that seems to favour the custodial parent or the payee. There's also been allegations where the child support agency, now the Department of Human Services, has assessed the paying parent to one standard but not upheld those similar standards to the payees, and on and on the issues go. So a range of things that the committee needs to consider, but we're still at this stage going through those hearings before we get to any formal deliberations.
The committee has heard of the financial uncertainty, stress and hardship experienced by payees and their children when payments are missing, irregular or simply not enough. However, many child support recipients find that rather than deal with the stress of pursuing money owed by their former partner, it's easier to go without.
I think it's often that women feel that their ex-partners could be using the child support as an opportunity to continue or further the abuse or coercion or impact or influence. Certainly I think that it does open up scope for manipulation, and so that women may not necessarily feel like they are the empowered ones who are in control of that situation. It goes back into, do I say what I'm supposed to say to keep him happy, or do I do what's best for my children?
One of the inquiry's aims is finding out how the child support scheme could provide better outcomes for high conflict families. High
conflict families could be those where the relationship is just broken down, irreparable. And we often see the arguments and conflict around that between parents who, for a range of reasons, there might be refusal to pay, false allegations put forward, manipulation. It's where the whole, I suppose, claims of deadbeat dads and manipulative mothers come forward. So we're looking at that end of the spectrum, because I think that by and large, a lot of people within the child support system are getting on with it okay, but there is a percentage that find it difficult for a range of means, and we find that in that percentage that's finding the system difficult, it's often because there's been this irreparable breakdown of the relationship between the two parents of the child that the system's supposed to be looking after.
A possible solution to improve the system for high conflict families is introducing a guaranteed payment scheme, which would mitigate the emotional toll of making and receiving payments and provide more stability for those dependent on child support.
So for these parents, by guaranteeing payments and more vigorously pursuing non-compliant payers or those who minimise their income, the state would assume responsibility for child support, and children in low-income households would receive the full benefits of this income on a reliable basis. And this would change non-compliance from being a personal slight against the other parent to being an administrative infraction against the state. And over time, this may reduce parental conflict, which has been reported as improving payment outcomes, thus resulting in eventual budget savings. But it does not imply that child support payments be withheld by the state, as international research suggests that visible signs of financial benefits to children are important to parents and increase the likelihood of payments. And we've heard other paying fathers talk about wanting to direct more of their income towards specified activity.
Inquiry snapshots are available online at aph.gov.au. The committee expects to table its report in early 2015.